I'm Tessa from Tales from Outside the Classroom, and today we're going to talk about word chains, what they are, and how to do them. So let's start with what are word chains. A word chain is a sequence of words that each differ by one phoneme or sound. To complete the chain, students build or write each of the target words, changing just one sound at a time. That's what makes them a chain, because each word connects to the word before it and the word after it. Because the difference between words is based on a sound, the spelling might vary by more than one letter. Because we are changing sounds in any position in a word chaining is also a phoneme manipulation activity, making it a powerful instructional tool for beginning readers. So what do you need in order to word chain? In short, nothing special. I would highly recommend starting with a specific list of words ready to go, because it can be very difficult to think of a proper target word on the fly, and you waste valuable instructional time if you're sitting and thinking of what comes next. It can also be difficult to be sure you're incorporating both review skills and students' target skills if you're trying to think of it on the fly. And if you're working with students who are just working with a few letter sound combinations, you want to make sure you have your list ready to go so that you are working with the proper sound students are ready for. Beyond that word list, you don't really need anything special. I prefer to keep paper pencil for other word building activities where I'm just having students sound out and write the words. But for word chaining, I prefer to use dry erase boards and markers, letter tiles, or magnetic letters. So now that we've talked about what you need in order to get started, let's get started. So students begin with nothing in front of them. You give them a target word and they repeat it. Cat. Students say cat. Students then sound out the word. K-at. Cat. Once it's been sounded out, students can then build it using those letters. I have it set up here, ready to go, just for the purposes of this video. I would not have the next letters ready to go underneath, but for the purposes of the video, I have them here ready. So once students have built the word, they double check that they're correct. K-at. Cat. Once you have verified that they are correct, you can give them the next target word. Bat. Students repeat it, bat, and then segment it. B-at. Bat. Through seeing the visual of what is there before, students are able to identify where in that word the sound changes. So they can move out the old one and add the new one. The power in word chaining comes from students doing that work. So it's important that you don't tell students where the sound varies or what sound changes. While some assessments do assess students in that way, the power from word chaining comes from students doing that heavy lifting. So now that we have the next word, they should make sure they're correct. B-at. Bat. And once they are, they're ready for the next word. So you would tell students fat. They would again repeat and segment. Fat. F-at. Fat. Hearing the change, moving the tiles, building the new word. Fat. Again, double checking they're correct. F-at. Fat. Ready for the next word, fit. Students repeat and segment. Fit. F-it. Fit. So in this word, we have the vowel sound that changes, and then they replace. Fit. F-it. Fit. In this video, I have only worked with CVC words, changing the initial and medial sound. However, word chaining can be done with any phonics skill, especially focused on one-syllable words, but it can even happen with larger morphemes, working on changing prefixes and suffixes. I did not demonstrate changing the final sound, but that is also a powerful skill for students. And some students specifically struggle with hearing final sounds in words, so word chaining is great practice for them. So now that we've talked about how to do a word chain, when should you use them? Word chains can be done during whole group and small group phonics instruction. I don't tend to do word chains during my whole group instruction because it can be difficult for me to make sure students are with me and I can't give them feedback on their mistakes. So I typically reserve word chains during my small group phonics practice. Any student can do word chains as long as they have a few letter sound correspondences already in their knowledge. So for example, if they know short A, short I, and a couple consonant sounds, they're ready to get started. You can do a word chain starting with at, changing it to an, changing it to in, changing it to it, for example. I would highly recommend starting with 2 sounds with your beginning readers and then incorporating that third sound as students are ready for it. Phonemic awareness and phonics integration is a super powerful strategy for students as they're beginning to learn how to navigate phonemes and graphemes together to read and spell words. Word chaining can continue to be done throughout your phonics sequence. So as you are working on introducing vowel teams, you might have students swap out the medial vowel sound while also reviewing digraphs, short vowel sounds, because they're still just changing one sound at a time. I hope this quick video on word chains was helpful for you, and if you're not already using them in your small group instruction, that you're ready to try it out.